So welcome to the Data Explorers Market Update with me, Will Duff Gordon. So today I'm talking about copper, and the reason I'm talking about copper is because the guy I work next to, I asked him how his weekend was, and he said that, well, not so great, because he went to Wales on a train and it sat for 3 hours in a siding because, according to the driver, somebody had stolen the copper wire that was crucial to the functioning of the signal box to enable the train to go through. That tells you how expensive copper has become at the moment if people are prepared to steal copper wires on England's railways. Now, that's a mainly true story and a good way to go and look at the copper sector. So let's look at the classic copper play, which is Freeport McMoran, listed in the S&P 500. And surprise, surprise, short interest at a 3-year low and institutional ownership from the funds who lend at a 3-year high. So everyone's very, very bullish on Freeport McMoran. The only clouds on the horizon, and they're not even really clouds, if you look at the environmental, social and governmental kind of risks to companies, which is kind of this new thing, they do point out that some tribe in Papua is suing them for illegal land ownership. So let's watch that one. Let's look at Antofagasta, which has lots of copper assets, the London listed company. Short interest is kind of low, but sort of gently rising to about 2%, and the institutional ownership is falling. So it's neither shorted or anything too worried about, but it was recently downgraded by some sell-side brokers, and there are some negative bits of investor sentiment about Antofagasta. Let us look at First Quantum Minerals, very cool named company listed in Canada. Looks like there's a lot of short interest here, which got me interested, but actually no, boring. It's all to do with the convertible bond they've issued. And meanwhile, institutional investors have a huge 28% of First Quantum, so things are looking good for them. If you want to look at a more sort of pure play miner, you can look at Central Asian Metals, recently listed in London. The brokers that told me about Central Asian Metals also pointed out some interesting things about copper, which I probably should have said earlier, such as, did you know that the average copper mine is 50 years old, and then it takes maybe 10 years to get a mine productive, at least 10 years. The company discovered by Rio and Ivanhoe Mines recently has the potential to produce 500,000 tonnes of copper a year, and the annual production is 15 million. But they've had that asset since 2001, and it's still not going to be in production until 2013 at the very earliest. So that tells you we've got old assets, the mines are deep, expensive, and in 2008 most people gave up on new copper ventures, but China's buying lots of copper. I looked at my house and the new plumbing, there's copper parts going in everywhere, so copper is still a crucial industrial metal for us, and not surprisingly, copper's going up. Finally, if we look at the ETF, there's ETF securities have a thing called ETF Copper, ETFS Copper, ticker COPA, but there's no real institutional ownership or short interest in that one. So that's a quick look around the copper sector. We'll do more sectors in due course. If you want to read the report, it is of course at dataexplorers.com/news.